I'm using the metaphor of Plato's cave to plot my photographic experiences. Beginning with captivity therein, then moving to an escape into practical photography, followed by the academic inspiration of the MA, and finally, post-MA, expression through my project. I was born in 1948 and lived through 1950s in Manchester. I left home at 15, joined the army as a boy soldier at 16, and served 24 years. Army service outside England included Singapore, UAE, Germany, Brunei, and more than 4 years in Northern Ireland, during the period euphemistically called the Troubles. Photography began for me in 1971, when the family disembarked in Singapore. It was driven by the hunger for images of our children, with the odd shot using the fast shutter speed of my newly bought Pentax SLR. We left Singapore in 1974, and the only images acquired following that until December 2010 were holiday snaps. I began work in Dubai in 1995. December 2010, still in Dubai, I purchased my first DSLR for use on a hastily arranged safari to South Africa. Since then, photography has been non-stop. 2011 and 12, Dubai, Oman and Ethiopia. 2013, now retired to Somerset, I joined a camera club, becoming involved in competitions, followed by RPS, PAGB and BPE awards. Throughout that time, favourite images were often ignored and sometimes eviscerated by judges. It was a steep and painful learning curve. Subsequent photographic forays included Scotland for wildlife, India for wildlife and street photography, Sweden in a winter hide, Shepton Mallet Carnival, and the Ragged Victorians. Which photographers have inspired you, I was asked. I was totally embarrassed. I knew the names of 2 photographers only, both British, and both remembered from my teens in the 60s and not for photography. Inspirational stimulus came from 5 people. Roland Barthes, through his entertaining and occasionally puzzling camera lucida and its introduction to punctum. I am also grateful to him for putting me on the path to understanding the je ne sais quoi dynamic in those images that fascinate me. He does, however, cause confusion about punctum throughout the book. There is also intrigue in the manner of his death and the missing photograph of his mother. Susan Sontag and Plato's Cave in her On Photography inspired me to study rather than just read the book. Her relaxing but compulsive communication skills, especially during recorded interviews, are gifts, despite her thought-provoking challenges to the norm. She had very negative opinions regarding photographers such as Diane Arbus, who she considered a bully and exploiter of her subjects. Some readers and watchers may want to search for a deeper reason for the animus. Some of her views have, however, caused me to re-evaluate the methodology of my street photography. John Berger is my favourite teacher and presenter, with his bite-sized slices of wisdom. The essays brought together in the book Understanding a Photograph are a treat. His ability to hold the reader's attention is akin to Sontag's, and when seen in tandem on screen, they're exhilarating. Now for Henri Cartier-Bresson, master of the decisive moment in conjunction with his microplan compositions. He has forced me to look more carefully at my sloppy practices when confronted with any subject that moves quickly through the frame. Is it possible that the number of keepers would increase with the more patient approach he adopted in his work? We shall see. Don McCullin. His trademark images, fearlessness under fire and kindness to nearby people in danger or in need of care, stands him out from many other war photographers. Images such as these remind us of the futility of conflicts that seem to have no end. The Northern Ireland of today is perhaps just one judgment error away from a return to chaos. I contacted the Alzheimer's Society to discuss my project. They were delighted and immediately gave me the address of a dementia research doctor working at Bristol University. Photography connected with dementia was part of her research. We exchanged many emails, but it soon became apparent that not enough demonstrable evidence would be available in time to submit a meaningful project proposal. So I then considered replacing the project with one centred on the wildlife around a local golf course. I had discarded this project earlier as not being challenging enough. Subsequently, during a webinar, my tutor Paul suggested that I consider combining the two in some way and gave me details of a website in which Dr. Oliver Sacks discussed the healing power of gardens. There is no cure for dementia at present, but those living with it can occasionally still enjoy happy flashbacks to a former time. For recall to happen, however, requires a stimulus to make the connection in the brain. Dr. Sacks had noticed some of his patients with dementia were able to potter in a garden, even though they were incapable of doing many other simple tasks. Prior to the webinar discussed earlier, I had already contacted the Falmouth Students' Union to ask for their involvement in simple dementia research using the arts. I had also reconnected with the Alzheimer's Society to discuss arts, plus suggesting that they request the Premier League to become involved, especially as the sport is concerned with the numbers of ex-footballers who have developed the disease. Now motivated to join themes together, I retitled my project to How Nature, Photography and Other Arts Can Help in the Care of Those Living with Dementia. Priority 1. I need to generate enough inspirational images in the next 6 weeks to satisfy the illustrated project proposal stage. This Manchester United image is one of my photographic ideas aimed at initiating a smile for those living with dementia. My uncle was a Manchester United fanatic, and this was his favourite image. It took pride of place on the wall of his room in an Australian nursing home. Thank you for viewing the video.